Good evening. My name is Pablo Milstein. I have had the opportunity, the privilege, and the joy of working closely with Howard Milstein, our visionary chairman, for more than 2 decades. It is now my very special honor to introduce him as the first individual inductee to the New York Blood Center Hall of Fame. Time makes it impossible for me to list all of Howard's contributions to the New York Blood Center, to the city of New York, to the United States and the world. The honors bestowed on Howard, including France's Légion d'honneur, are also too many to do justice to, and I apologize to him and to you for that. The vast scale of Howard's engagement makes the earnest and methodical intensity of his dedication to each in so many fields quite awesome. In every case, Howard gets it and then gets it done. His extraordinary leadership skills make a unique experience to witness him conducting a board meeting. Together with laser-sharp focus on each topic, he provides astounding recollection of any related fact ever mentioned during the last 20 years at the New York Blood Center Board of Trustees. He thus makes available context for every decision and shapes discussions to enable reaching a balanced consensus. His warm personality and wit always lift and enlighten the board's deliberations. It often seems as though Howard's primary job is the New York Blood Center and its needs. However, we know he creates a similarly indelible mark on many other philanthropic organizations in various fields, not only in the medical area, but also in education, the arts, international relations, and perhaps importantly in the civic area. And of course, he has to run many large and important businesses. All is possible because of the remarkable mental agility that enables him to absorb complex information of all kinds. Remember, he does get it. Howard seems to possess an extra gearbox that generates innovative ideas and solutions. Howard joined the board in 1993 and was the first Blood Center board member to fully recognize the importance and future of our work using cord blood stem cells as a substitute for bone marrow in clinical cases where having a matched and related donor was the only hope for people suffering from a number of diseases. His support and steadfastness has been critical ingredients in developing our program and has saved thousands of lives in the US and abroad. The cord blood program prompted Howard to undertake a leadership role in the ethical use of neonatal stem cells. Thus, in 2003, when Howard became chairman of the board, he also created the Howard Milstein Cord Blood Center at New York Blood Center and initiated a campaign to obtain federal support for cord blood banking for transplantation. That project, with Howard's enthusiastic participation, became law in 2005, and today cord blood is the source of donor tissue for approximately 20% of all stem cell transplants in the US. New York Blood Center alone has provided transplants to thousands of patients in almost 50 countries. During all this time, Howard has been a true partner to me and also a cherished mentor, despite his youth. The program's product, Hemacord, was licensed by FDA in 2011 and received the Prix Gala USA Prize for the Best Biotechnology Product of 2014. These successes were sweet, but the one closest to Howard's heart was the key reason for his original involvement in cord blood. Cord blood succeeded in providing balanced access to stem cell transplantation for minority patients. In a recent example, a child from Mali was successfully transplanted for leukemia in Barcelona with one of our Hemacord units, the only donor match among the world's 27 million plus potential donors. Howard is now guiding us in and funding work to enhance the technology we developed in making umbilical cord blood useful, to embrace the entire field of regenerative medicine. In its early stages now, this work will enable us to repair or replace potentially every major organ in the human body. Howard Milstein's range of interest is both focused and extensive. He is a true 21st century Renaissance man of seemingly boundless energy, warmth, and humanity. Looking to history for a parallel figure, Lorenzo de' Medici, Il Magnifico, comes to mind. In fact, so much of what Howard has accomplished has been truly magnificent. Howard, we now present you with a memento of your induction into the New York Blood Center's Hall of Fame. It reads, "The New York Blood Center salutes Howard Milstein, Chairman of the Board of Trustees, for his tireless leadership, his dedication and commitment to New York Blood Center at home and throughout the world." Thank you.
Thank you. Come closer. Thank you, Pablo. I didn't realize we were going to get involved with history tonight, but I will get involved with history a little bit later. I want to first acknowledge, as you saw in the videos or in the photos as Pablo was speaking, there are many pictures of the Blood Center celebrating events with the New York City Fire Department. And we have the commissioner here this evening, Dan Nigro. Dan? And Dan, I just want to mention to you that when one of your predecessors, Nick Scoppetta, stepped down as commissioner, which we hope you don't do for a long time, he did then join the board of the Blood Center. And so there's a great tradition, and the things that we do with the FDNY are amazing. And you saw some pictures of the ceremony we have every year, the Honor Roll of Life, where we bring together the recipients of bone marrow donations from the New York City Fire Department, which is, they donate 100 times more per capita than the rest of the population. And so, Dan, send our love back to the FDNY. Now, I also want to mention that I'm delighted to receive this award But of course, as you can imagine, in any organization as large as ours and as successful as ours, I'm the fellow who gets a lot of the credit. But the credit really goes to our remarkable Board of Trustees, our senior staff, led so ably and dynamically by Chris Hillier. Oh, there you are, Chris. And all of the staff and the volunteer leadership. And I'll give you a little background. I said I would mention the history, and I'll come back around to Pablo at the end. So the New York Blood Center was founded, as was mentioned earlier, in 1963. The idea to found it started in 1958. And the way the idea came forth was that the then governor, Nelson Rockefeller, a man who did things on a grand scale, found out that a relative had not come out of the hospital at the time he was expected to come out of the hospital, and he made an inquiry as to what had occurred. And he was told, well, he got bad blood. And so the governor said, well, where did they get the blood? They said, well, they buy the blood down on the Bowery. So the governor said, well, what do you think you're going to get on the Bowery? How can we have that in New York State? So with one sweep of the hand, he made it illegal to buy blood in New York State. And with the other sweep of the hand, he called his brother David and said, I want you to organize the corporate community so that we can have blood drives and have good blood for any New Yorkers that need blood. And that was the birth of the New York Blood Center. And of course, in Rockefeller style, they attracted the world's leading hematologist, Dr. Aaron Kellner, to lead the institution and our research. And research from day one was an integral part of the mission of the New York Blood Center. And as time went by, we had many firsts, and we're really the world leaders and acknowledged to be so. In fact, keep in mind, 1960s, the early 60s was not that long after World War II. And because of Dr. Kellner's fame and the gratitude that Europe and the UK felt towards the US, until 1992, when mad cow disease struck and made it illegal to have blood from Europe, these countries sent the New York Blood Center 100,000 units of blood a year. So that shows the prominence that we had. Of course, that was a bit of a hill to climb in 1992 when we could no longer use the 100,000 red cells that we got from abroad. So one of the things, the great gifts that Aaron Kellner gave us, is he recruited Pablo Rubenstein. So Pablo is the man who gave me the award, and he said many overly generous things about me. But certainly many of them apply to him. And so it's my privilege to work with Pablo, to endorse and support his vision, to make sure that we do better for people all over the world, but especially in New York. So that's what we do. We do it every day. And I want to thank each and every one of you for supporting us in the so many ways that you do. And as I look out at the audience, I see the people from the New York Blood Center who I've worked with for more than 20 years. I see friends and relatives. I see the corporate community that supports us. And one thing to remember about the Blood Center, it's something that also brings the community together. Because while philanthropists can write checks, everyone can give blood. And so everyone can support the community by giving blood. Our motto is give blood, save a life. And we saw such a wonderful young lady this evening who's a perfect example of that. So thank you all for coming. And we hope to see you again soon. And thanks for your continued support.